darn fun, alright? It always distracts you from your homework and you can never get off it. It's also the reason for your procrastination too, right? Well, you're wrong. I know. Doom scrolling on TikTok until you're stressed enough to get motivated and do the homework 3 hours before it's due, wondering, why do I do this to myself? Well, I've been there. The people in 2022, the University of Melbourne explained how that people have struggled with procrastination since the ancient times, but nowadays people are able to use technology as a scapegoat. Late night procrastination feels great, but it never looks great or feels great the day after. Which is why today I'm going to explain the science behind procrastination by talking about the psychology, the genius effect, and how the quality of a task looked after a midnight rush. For I'm credible enough to do this because I did my research and I'm a fellow procrastinator. So, for our first topic, how about we pick at the human brain and see why we procrastinate? Well, the word procrastination, it might just be another word to you or another way for your mom to call you lazy. But procrastination is actually deeper than that. It can it it works off of your mental health and your self-perception. The McLean Hospital in the article Why We Procrastinate explains that procrastination happens because of low self-efficiency, which is needed to do a task or the need to do it perfectly, like for example, making a poster for English class. I have experienced this type of procrastination many, many times. Like for instance, the speech to persuade. I practice and practice and practice the speech until I wanted it perfectly. But once I finally performed it, all I had was a late assignment, a lower grade, and more stress. Another factor to procrastination can be boredom. Humans are known for needing their stimulation. And so when a high school student doesn't want to do their math homework, they will turn to their phone for their stimulation. Once again, I am not blaming technology, I'm simply blaming the student. Think of it this way. When you are working on an assignment at a late hour, approximately 11 p.m., do you notice a difference in your thought process and your creativity? This is what we will call the genius effect. For my second main point, I will explain what the genius effect is. Basically, the genius effect is you waiting to do your homework until late at night, and then once you finally get around to doing it, you scribble down some answers and head to bed, and thinking, yep, perfect. Well, you're not really a genius for doing this. This is because this is because the article from Neuroscience in 2023 explained that partial and total sleep deprivation can cause can cause a human to react inappropriately, socially and behaviorally. This is because the brain isn't getting enough rest. And if the brain doesn't get its nightly reset, then it then it will cause these things to happen, and the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala would not be able to communicate with each other. Let's use me for an example. When I was in ninth grade, algebra was very hard for me to do at home. Typically, I would wait until 10 o'clock at night to do my algebra homework, and then by 10:30 or 11, I would be done. But the next day, when I would check my answers, my algebra homework would just look like a toddler's attempt at algebra, and a lot of the answers would be wrong. But another thing I notice is that when I am sleep deprived and at work, I am able to do the normal functions I'm supposed to do. Like for instance, scan items, bag the item, and bring up the total. This is because the people at Sleep Science in 2021 say that sleep deprivation affects the attention span mostly, while our executive function is preserved, which is why I was not able to do my math homework correctly, but I was able to scan stuff at work. Now, ending with the final main point, how our work looks after procrastination. In my experience, procrastination can make your work very, very sloppy. Like, for example, when I procrastinate my English homework. My teacher notices a lack of creativity because of my brain either being shot from partial sleep deprivation or because I was bored while doing the homework. What I have also noticed in recent years is that if I start an assignment early and if I just slowly work on it, not taking big gapped breaks away from it, I am able I am able to get it done. A group of authors in The Detrimental Effect of Academic Procrastination on Subsequent Grades, the mediating role of coping in over above past achievement and working memory capacity, they conducted a study on college students. And after the study, they were able to predict how negatively impacted grades were after the semester. Today, I have explained to you the psychology and science behind procrastination with how it affects our mindset and task quality. In conclusion, I procrastinated trying to present this speech. Truly, I did. I was scared and I wanted it to be perfect. But now, here I am, stumbling over my words. It may offer you temporary peace, but in the long run, it will only add to your stress. It can also affect your sleep and how your homework looks. So, which is why late night procrastination feels great, but it never looks great or feels great the day after. So, what are you still doing here? Go finish your math homework. Go.